It was around 10:30 UK time here in Glasgow when chaos struck on the River Clyde. What had happened was a police helicopter, it's now been confirmed there was a police helicopter, came up the Clyde and smashed into the busy pub, which was packed. There was a local band playing in there, busy every night of the week, particularly on a Friday night going into a Saturday morning. And as you can imagine, people very upset here in Glasgow this evening and tonight. And it's just chaos.
It sounds like the emergency services got there pretty quickly. I was reading some eyewitness reports. Everyone sort of seemed to say there was this loud bang and then suddenly this descent of emergency services. Could you explain for us, Connor, whereabouts this pub is in relation to the rest of the city? Is it in the middle of the CBD?
Yeah, it's slap bang actually in the city centre. So you've got the main shopping street, which is Buchanan Street, and then Argyle Street, and it's about 2 streets behind that on the River Clyde, and it couldn't be any more central to Glasgow. So this pub is very, very busy with locals and, of course, tourists alike coming from across the world. And it's just to put it into context for me, it's across the River Clyde from a mosque and also from the city's Sheriff Court, and right beside a hotel as well. So very, very urban, and would have been very, very busy in the lead up to that. And obviously the area now is cordoned off. It's been cordoned off for hours, and it looks like that is going to be remaining the same for hours to come, with a lot of people still gathering here, and the world's media has descended on here as well. Now, one of the MPs for the United Kingdom, Jim Murphy, he spoke to me earlier on, and he said that he was in the pub at the time and he emerged with blood on his shirt. He's emerged as one of the heroes tonight, escorting the panic-stricken people out of the pub. And also another woman, actually, that I spoke to, she came out of her car and she was telling me that... I approached her and I said, "What's the hurry here? You're running." And she says, "I got a call from my sister, who just phoned me with the words simply, a helicopter has crashed into the pub." And then she hung up. So you can imagine, very dramatic, very upsetting times here in Glasgow in Scotland.
You mentioned that mosque there earlier, Connor. I read, and you might be able to clarify this for me, that they'd in fact opened up that mosque for anyone who was needing some shelter, who was, in that pub or in the surrounds. Have you heard anything more about that?
No, Glasgow is as I'm sure people across the world know, Glasgow is a very friendly city. So a lot of people have gone to various places in the city centre. At this time, it's very, very cold over here into the early hours overnight and into the early hours of this morning. But yeah, the mosque has opened up for people to go in and just get comfort, because people are really shocked about what's happened. And for hours, there was panic as to not knowing really what had happened. And social media actually drove this people's knowledge here, and most of what happened has actually come out of social media on this one, with dramatic pictures, which I'm sure you've seen as well.
Absolutely, that's where most of the information's coming from. And Glasgow, obviously, everyone's super connected with social media, super connected on that front. Obviously, Connor, an investigation will be proceeding. The police aspect of this still has to come about, but tonight, I imagine, everyone's still trying to get their head around what's happened in your home city.
Yeah, exactly. Just looking on to the scene at the moment, I'm actually standing about 100 metres from where the helicopter smashed into the pub earlier tonight. I'm on what we call Stockwell Street here in the city, and you can visibly see around 30 fire engines and numerous police cars, up into the 30 police cars as well, with hundreds of police officers around. And the city simply, this is not a normal occurrence for anywhere, let alone Glasgow, which is normally relatively quiet police presence on a Saturday night or Friday night even.
Connor Gillies, we so appreciate your time, incredibly early your time on a Saturday morning. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
No problem.